Shalom, shalom. This is part two of the forecast for humanity, June 9th, 2018. The time was 9:50 when the reading was cast and when the lots were cast, if you will. And we covered Leo, we covered Aries, we covered Jupiter return, we covered Cancer, and we just arrived at Gemini. So part two, we're going to continue with Gemini. I think we're dealing with the intellect. We're dealing with the power of speech and communication and expressing oneself. We're also dealing with romance. We're dealing with charm, a charming energy. We're also dealing with deep thought in reference to philosophy, which brings us back to the Jupiter return and continues with Gemini in reference to communication and having intellectual and philosophical conversations with those we meet, such as friends and family. Now, I would like to expand on Gemini. And those who are born under Gemini is May 22nd to June 20th. And there's a saying by Bob Dylan, or Dylan, if that's how he pronounced it. And he states, "No one is free, even the birds are chained to the sky." No one is free, even the birds are chained to the sky. No one is free, even the birds are chained to the sky. This is by Bob Dylan, if I'm not mistaken. And communication is the key, being versatile and quick at this time. And the Gemini energy is saying that we must also be mindful because people are talking. Gemini is a charming sign. It's all about fun. And it's the winged creature, but it's not just a winged creature or a winged messenger. There's a saying that thoughts have wings, and you may have heard this saying goes like this: thoughts are things. So therefore thoughts are things, but thoughts have wings. Thoughts themselves are messengers. You can even perceive them as angelic beings or even fairies or archangels, etc., beings that are depicted with wings, but the wings themselves symbolize higher states of consciousness, also the mind or the element of air. Now, it's also been stated that Gemini is a frequency, it's an energy, and those who are born under Gemini like to exchange ideas and communication. However, they are not good listeners. Good talkers, but not good listeners. Not that they can't become good listeners, but Gemini seems to be curious about everything because they're ruled by the air, so they love to express themselves and expand their minds and look into different things, study different topics. They also love stories and gossip. They love to talk. These intelligent minds should always be fed, whether with the gossipy tales or the most philosophical pursuits. They're like both. They're heavy into social media or games and the like where they can interact with others. Communication is key. Stay alert, pay attention to the latest technology, whether it's cameras, tablets, smartphones, computers, etc. And be as creative and pay attention to the next inventions that come out because it deals with the realm of thought. Pay attention to your words and your speech. And this is a frequency where we are likely to have to multitask. And this is a time where our energy is normally scattered. This is a time to write a blog in reference to expression and communication and networking. And I mentioned social media. This is the time, whatever projects you're working on, and that brings us back to Leo in reference to creativity and public recognition. And also brings us back to Aries in reference to war. I mentioned games, um, but also war, politics, competition is the main word I'm looking for here. Competition. Don't be afraid to be competitive and expand your consciousness, expand your mind, which is the Jupiterian energy. And but yes, but speech, creating as you're speaking things into existence, being the painter, you know, um, painting the world, basically painting the world. Scientists are dreamers, writers are dreamers, they're prophets, they're the ones who are writing the future. So pay attention to that, and this is the frequency that's in the air at this point in time. And we're also dealing with the energy of flirtation. Friends as lovers, lovers as friends, so multiple lovers, energy being scattered. Entering romantic relationships also correspond to the lovers card in the tarot, which deals with relationships and romance, but also deals with harmony and balance, I might add. But we could suffer from restlessness and indecision. And however, we're dealing with two faced, people who are two faced, or people who wear masks. So there are times we may not always be honest with ourselves and we put on masks. And that's what persona is. People only know what we decide to show them. So that's also a frequency that's in the air at this point in time, also. So be wary of that. But for the most part, pay attention to the latest invention, technology, writing your own blog or book, or just finding ways to express yourself and put yourself in the limelight. This is the time to do so. This is what the ancients would say. This is what the gods are saying. Make no mistake about it. I am a believer in God, okay? But this is how the ancients would have said it. This is what the gods are saying. The sun or Mars or Jupiter or Cancer, the moon and Mercury, they were all considered to be gods, planetary gods. So this is what the gods are saying. And that concludes this reading or this forecast, if you will. And stay tuned until the next forecast. And we will meet again soon. Shalom.